Hey guys, so we have a hint here. This is a very interesting hint. So you wouldn't really know what this is for unless you know exactly what these, I'm going to say symbols mean, but it's really just referring to the 6F and the 6E here. I kind of do think it's interesting how they have the puzzle pieces here as well. I assume this is just in reference to the ordering of where you're supposed to actually put the numbers here. So probably going to end up starting with 41 and then you have to make our way across and from left to right. I don't know if it's actually from left to right or not, but we'll figure it out. So basically what this is hexadecimal code. And the only reason, again, you would know that is if you know what like 6F is and 6E is. I'm not an expert in hexadecimal code by any means, but I know what it is and I know the background behind what hexadecimal code is. And what I'm assuming we're supposed to do with this is take the hexadecimal equivalent of all of these values, convert them to ASCII, and then that will be whatever the character is going to be when we order them in the order of what it says for the puzzle pieces. I actually am a big fan of this. I think this is a bit different than what they usually do for these hints. It is going to obviously give us a definitive answer, unless the actual like word that this gives us is another hint, which probably is not going to be the case. I don't think this is not some kind of like secret society code puzzle thing. So let's see if we can figure this out, right? So again, this is going to be hexadecimal code. So for those of you who are not familiar with hexadecimal code, again, I am not an expert on hexadecimal code. I just know what it is, and I know, sort of the abridged background behind it. Let's go over to Word here. So basically what hexadecimal code is here. Hexadecimal code is an alternative way of notating values. So the way you guys are probably familiar with typing numbers is you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so what this is base 10. This is base 10 notation for just numerical values. And what base 10 means is when we move on from 10, we just go 11, 12, etc., etc., etc. So we're basically counting in notations of increments, I guess is a better word for it, increments of 10. Hexadecimal code is base 16. So what that means is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when we get to 9, we're actually going to swap over to alphabetic notation. And that's going to be A, B, C, D, E, F. And then once we get to F, that's going to be where we sort of go moving on to the next increment. And so this is the base of hexadecimal compared to the base of what we just call the decimal notation. Is instead of hexadecimal, it's decimal. Obviously, if you guys are familiar with like hexa stuff like that, hexa is 6, which means it's going to be base 16 as opposed to decimal, which is base 10. Deci is 10, hexa is 6. So we're going to use this to figure out the notation here, and then obviously when we go from forward from here, it's just going to go into 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Technically, there should be zeros in front of these. Doesn't matter. Zeros in front of these. And then when we get down here, again, because we are going with base 16 and there is numerical notation here, it's just going to go 1A instead. And then we're just going to keep going down from there. So that's the gist of how hexadecimal code works. Instead of figuring out how to actually convert this to ASCII, we're just simply going to use a chart, which I do have pulled up already. So let's go back over here. I just looked up, what did I Google for this? I think I just looked up hexadecimal to ASCII conversion chart. So this is what we have here. So as I just showed you, we have the decimal notation on the left side, and then we have the hexadecimal notation over here. Exactly what I just typed down. So what we're going to do is we're going to, by the way, there is binary. I'm sure you guys know what binary code is. There's octal code, which is just base 8, right? Octa is, most of you guys probably know, is 8. Hex is 6, but in this case it's 16. So Deci is 10, so base 10. We have base 8, we have base 16. And then ASCII is basically just an alphabetic representation of the code, right? In quote unquote letter form, right? Or I guess computer letter form, because we have like different symbols here, number symbol, dollar sign, stuff like that. So we're just going to use this chart to convert the different hex symbols, which were given here in the code, in the hint, I should say, to give us the ASCII equivalents, and then we'll see if we can line that up with the puzzle pieces. So I'm going to quickly do that off camera, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. All right, so what I've done is I've just ordered the numbers in the order of the puzzle pieces that make sense. So I marked the corners as green. The middle parts I'm not sure about because it's just going to be whether or not it actually makes sense or not. So I'm going to do this live, actually. We'll just convert these hexadecimal values to ASCII values. So we have 41. So hexadecimal 41 is A. Hexadecimal 6E, that's going to be all the way on the right side, is N. Okay, I think we can already kind of see what this is going to be. AN64 is going to be D. Okay, looks like I got this correct. 72 is R. 6F is going to be O. 69 is going to be I. 31, let's see if I got this one right. It's just a trial and error at this point because the piece might not be actual. Yeah, this is 1. That's obviously not correct. Well, let's just put that there for now. 23 is going to be number sign. 64 is, we already did 64, right? It's D. And then 36 is 6. So, I mean, obviously we know what this is going to be, but the order is a bit off. So it's ANDROI. This should be 64. So I'm actually going to replace this. And then let's take this and put that. What is this? 1? Yeah, so there we go. All I did was have to flip this and this. So obviously, if we then take those ASCII symbols by themselves, we have ANDROID, number sign 16. There we go. There's the answer to the code. Android number 16. So let me just flip back over. Using this chart to convert that. I'm sure if you just type in like hexadecimal notation to ASCII notation converter on Google, it should just come up and you could be able to just type it in probably and it'll do it automatically for you. But I just wanted to quickly show why that even is a thing and briefly explain the difference here. Again, I'm not an expert on this stuff. The only reason why I was even able to tell how to do this is because I recognize that 6F and 6E were hexadecimal notation. Otherwise, it wouldn't make any sense to put these here amongst other numbers here. So looks like 16 is going to be, oops, there's an ad. Looks like 16 is going to be what we are going to get. And it's probably, yeah, so I disabled ad blocker. Now we're getting all these ads popping up everywhere. Thanks. So now we're going to be getting some kind of 1% sparking Android 16 character or a EX16. Remember, they have done teasers for EX characters in the past before, so there is a chance that this is not a 1% sparking, but rather just an EX character. But anyway, let's see if we can pull up just the Androids team real quick. So let's go over here. I'm probably going to have to put on ad blocker again because this is ridiculous how many ads we're getting here. But I mean, 16 is definitely a character that we would want a new version of. It's been a long time since, when was the last 16 we got? I think we only have one sparking 16, right? Just the original one, this green one. Because we don't have like a good animation for like the Hell Flash. There's a lot of other stuff he does as well. We have like the Rocket Punch, right? Like there's stuff like that he does, like, especially his fight against First Form Cell. Pretty good. But this doesn't necessarily tell us anything about like the big character because I assume this is not going to be the teaser for the LF. By the way, now that we know that this is going to be a teaser for the upcoming banner, it's 99% not going to be an Ultra. Unless it's Ultra 16, which I doubt. Remember, because they did do the teaser for Ultra Kid Buu, so technically they could do a teaser for an Ultra character, but 99% this is going to be a teaser for either a 1% character or an EX. So it looks like we are going to be getting an LF here. Very, very doubtful it's going to be a Mega Rising. They always put out those banners the last day of the month, end of the month. So it actually does appear as though we are going to be getting 3 back-to-back-to-back LF banners in a row, which is fine. I think those LF banners are the best kinds of banners anyway. But so 16 is coming out. Now there's really 2 big moments that 16 has, right? There's 16's fight against First Form Cell, and then there's obviously when 16 dies and gets crushed by Perfect Form Cell and then Gohan transforms. I would probably lean more towards this not being the Gohan fight version of 16. He doesn't really do much. He attempts to blow himself up against Perfect Form Cell, and it does not particularly work out too well. And he doesn't really have much else to do in that arc. That's all he does. That's his only role, is to die. And then Gohan transforms. So if this was going to be some kind of 16 who transforms or revives into a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, I've seen a lot of people throw the possibility out. I think that would be an amazing character. I would be down for that, but I don't think that's what this is for. To me, this more so looks like a 1% sparking 16 that fought against the first form Cell. And then the main character we could get as the LF, maybe some kind of Super Vegeta, maybe a Super Vegeta and Trunks tag character. I think a really good addition for the Vegeta Clan team right now would be a Super Vegeta that revives into Super Trunks. Vegeta Clan has been getting some steady buffs, but there are still a lot of bases that have not been. There's a lot of bases that have not been filled yet for the Vegeta Clan team to actually be like competent versus the best teams in the game, like GT. I would consider one of the best teams in the game. Saiyan, Sun Family. They don't stand up to those better teams. So a revive would definitely be a step in the right direction for that team right now. Just a super mega powerful like ultra character at some point would be really nice. But there's a lot of things the team still needs, and I think that could definitely be a large step in the right direction for that team to be at least on the path to being comparable to some of those other better teams. So we'll see. It could also just end up being straight up a LF Super Vegeta. Super Vegeta is on the art of the campaign. It's him facing off against Perfect Form Cell. We have Super Vegeta on the GT, or not GT, what am I talking about? Super Vegeta on the art of the metal for the Cell Saga campaign. We have Super Vegeta basically everywhere. Representation everywhere for Super Vegeta so far. So it would make sense to me if Super Vegeta's only representation for this saga was not simply the fact that his old character from the Cold War era got a unique equipment. Like, we need more for that. We need more for Super Vegeta than just that. But there has been zero representation for Super Trunks. So clearly this sort of like second form Cell, Perfect Form Cell transitional period where it's like 18 and 16 and Vegeta and Trunks facing off against Cell with like Krillin thrown in there as well. Like that's the time period where we're really starting from. We got the free-to-play first form Cell character. It looks like they're skipping the Piccolo versus 17 fight, which I definitely think that Piccolo and that 17 could get much better representation in the game moving forward, but it looks like that's not really what they're going to be focusing on here, because this saga seems to be more focused around confrontations directly with Cell himself. So I think this banner will be more so about that like second form / Perfect Form Cell transitional period, and then I think the banner at the end of the month is where we're going to get into the Cell games. So we'll see what they end up doing here, but it looks like 16 is going to be either an EX character or a 1% sparking. Hopefully it's a 1%. Please don't do this to us. Don't give us an EX 16. 16 deserves a lot. 16 has a lot of sick animations. Dude, the Hell Flash looks good. Like, look at the Hell Flash in like Fighters. It looks so good. We need that in this game. So hopefully that's what they end up doing for this. Let me know down below what you guys think of the teaser giving us a very clearly delineated Android 16 as the answer for what we're going to be getting here for this banner. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.